sink, then you should do the honorable thing and resign. For too long, we've promoted too many uniformed leaders for the wrong reasons, based on their race, based on gender quotas, based on historic so-called firsts. We became the woke department. No more identity months, DEI offices, dudes in dresses. No more climate change worship. No more division, distraction, or gender delusions. We are done with that shit. Each service will ensure that every requirement for every combat MOS, for every designated combat arms position, returns to the highest male standard only. This is not about preventing women from serving. If women can make it, excellent. If not, it is what it is. If that means no women qualify for some combat jobs, so be it. Frankly, it's tiring to look out at combat formations, or really any formation, and see fat troops. Likewise, it's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon and leading commands around the country and the world. It's a bad look. We're going to cut our hair, shave our beards, and adhere to standards. No more beardos. We're undertaking a full review of the department's definitions of so-called toxic leadership, bullying, and hazing. Of course, you can't do like nasty bullying and hazing. We're talking about words like bullying and hazing and toxic. They've been weaponized. And if that makes me toxic, then so be it. No more frivolous complaints. No more anonymous complaints. No more repeat complainants. No more smearing reputations. No more endless waiting. No more legal limbo. No more sidetracking careers. No more walking on eggshells. Telling someone to shave or get a haircut or to get in shape or to fix their uniform or to show up on time or to work hard, that's exactly the kind of discrimination we want. Simply put, if you do not meet the male-level physical standards for combat positions, cannot pass a PT test, or don't want to shave and look professional, it's time for a new position or a new profession.
Wow. Doc, you're a veteran. How you feel about it?
I know it will sound crazy to people who probably haven't heard it, but you've been there. That's just what it was when we were in the Army. I mean, you couldn't wear earrings on post. Nobody wanted to hear our excuses. You had to shave. I was a young kid, 18. Somebody taught me how to shave. You better come in there shaved every day, especially when you're in the combat unit. I mean, I think when we were going to Iraq so much back to back like that, the post was deploying so much, they got a lot laxed on like some of the PT standards. I think if we go to like a combat zone, he'd be unrealistic to realize that like we weren't going to have some troops who aren't going to be like outside of the the standards physical fitness wise. Like you needed so many people that that just was like holding people to those standards. You had to get a little bit laxed on that. But a lot of that stuff, that's just kind of how it was. Like when we went to the field, every 3 days they had to take the women who were like HR and stuff in our unit back so they could shower. So if we were there for 30 days, they get 10 showers. If you was a dude, I would just pour some water in a bucket out there and just, get butt ass naked on the gun line and be out there showering, you know what I'm saying? Because, I'm not, people would go 30 days without a shower and I'm not going to be one of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you looking like that, Izzo, they do it. And they do it a lot.
Bro, that's fucking wild.
Great to tell you, it's not a joke.
Bro,
they do
I used to think in high school, I used to think the kids were crazy that would like go fucking do whatever in gym class and then just put their clothes back on and go back in the fucking class. I thought that shit was disgusting. And that's just for like another 3 hours.
How he's discussing is really how it was done when we were in the Army. It was don't ask, don't tell. No one cared about your shaving profile. It was dudes who had the big razor bumps. You got a little bit of a shaving profile.
Oh, you froze?
Like, dudes grow a beard like Slim now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't where it was at now. So that's just kind of how it was. Like, so everything he's saying was kind of the standards. If you failed a PT test, you had to do PT twice a day. You see them out there with the people, and they made fun of you about it. They teased you about it. They kind of like that was just the culture of the Army back then. But I mean, without people going on it was kind of needed because it was a hard thing. You were going to go on deployment, and it could potentially your physical fitness and all these things could potentially cost you your life. These dudes aren't going on the same tours, the same rotations. I think they need to be ready, but just they got a lot lax because that's not happening now.
Well, he said if you don't know, the Geneva Convention is like a rule, so there are rules when you go to war. And Pete Hegseth is trying to like roll that back, and I think it's been established since World War I. But this is what he said.
We are preparing every day. We have to be prepared for war, not for defense. We're training warriors, not defenders. We fight wars to win, not to defend. Defense is something you do all the time. It's inherently reactionary and can lead to overuse, overreach, and mission creep. War is something you do sparingly, on our own terms, and with clear aims. We fight to win. We unleash overwhelming and punishing violence on the enemy. We also don't fight with stupid rules of engagement. We untie the hands of our warfighters to intimidate, demoralize, hunt, and kill the enemies of our country. No more politically correct and overbearing rules of engagement. Just common sense, maximum lethality, and authority for warfighters. That's all I ever wanted as a platoon leader.
So, Slim, the Geneva Convention is a series of international treaties that establish norms for the humane treatment of people during armed conflict, including the sick, wounded, and shipwrecked, prisoners of war, and civilians in occupied territory. So, we have done some horrible things in Vietnam and other places where civilians were executed. Do you feel like rolling this back, us deploying to other countries, the civilian population might be in fear or might be in harm's way?
I think everybody's afraid to go to war. I think you're inhumane if you just gangster. I think even the soldiers have a little fear of going to war. But what I see in Pete is strength. I see that we at the fuck around and find out stage. And it looks like a man wants people to take his country seriously. It doesn't look like anything else to me but that. When you look at these other countries and their military, bro, they strict. They will decapitate you, send your remains to your loved ones. We out here worried about how we feel and what he gonna say, which might hurt our feelings. Nah. They ain't playing those games in those other countries. So people need to realize we got to be different. We got to be stronger. And we want countries to take us seriously because right now, to be G with you, the things we going through in the country, we being laughed at.
Okay, I'm going to get Ken and Enzo to respond to the fact that what he said about hazing.
Can I say something
Training
real
is being
quick about
restored to what
the
it should
Geneva
be.
suggestions?
Go ahead.
I just think it's interesting that we want to roll back all of these things, especially in wartime and especially if we're somewhere else. I mean, the truth of the matter is American servicemen rape American service women at an alarming rate. And now we want to be able to have these same men that will rape the women in their unit overseas with the ability to rape women overseas too. And now we can't even report them because now when a servicewoman gets raped and she makes that complaint that she was raped, she can only complain once. So if she gets raped a second time or a third time, she can't complain again. And so now we're taking this and we're saying, hey, screw the suggestions. We're going to go overseas and do the same thing. Like, that's crazy to me. I'm just going to throw that out there. That's a little bit wild to me. I mean, it's over 60% of service women in the United States are sexually assaulted by American servicemen. Throw that out there.
Mia makes a great point because when you get out there and you on tour, it doesn't feel like you're like it doesn't feel real completely. It's hard to describe it, sort of kind of, but it feels like it's kind of like lawless. So I think having those ROE and those rules of engagement is what kept dudes from repeating those atrocities that they were doing at Abu Ghraib, and that's like we kind of have to have some rules because, to be honest, dudes in the military will get bored. Dudes in the military will get will OD and like a lot of stuff is going on in the country that you really don't know.
Well, the most underreported rape in the military is actually man on man. But yeah,
Clock that too.
but I'm gonna play this Hazel clip and let Ken and Enzo respond.
Training is being restored to what it should be: scary, tough, and disciplined. We're empowering drill sergeants to instill healthy fear in new recruits, ensuring that future warfighters are forged. Yes, they can shark attack, they can toss bunks, they can swear, and yes, they can put their hands on recruits.
Now, the worst thing a drill sergeant did to me was I had like a door with all the girls I was talking to. They came and they threw everything out of my locker. They poured cologne on it. Then he was like, "Yeah, I hit that one. I'll hit that one. I'll hit that one. No, not her." He did me like that. So Ken, he talking about putting his hands on people. Nobody ever touched me. Do you feel like people signing up for the military should get touched?
That's a crazy question. What I think is they're trying to unleash Rome, and this might be to get the psychology ready to try to take Greenland. I think what we seen the display from China a couple weeks back, I think that was very eye-opening how in sync everybody was, and you know what I mean. So I think this is trying to reprogram the psychology of the young American male, who a lot of are out of the workforce, a lot are into gaming, a lot of have tapped out of society. So this is just winding up crash dummies. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is to traumatize crash dummies. This is a way to get men and women sent away. These people are not going to come back because it sounds like we're about to expand empire. So Greenland or some type of other land grab, but they got their eyes set on some things and they need some people that aren't tripping about being alive anyway.
Enzo, the younger generation is dealing with mental health a lot more issues than any other generation. And the military changes a lot of people's lives. Do you think this is going to stop people that would have got in the military and saw it as a career, as a profession, because they see all these changes being made?
I mean, it all comes down to the parenting. I mean, if you're going to raise somebody in a household that you're sensitive, that everything offends you, yeah, no, it's the military is not for you, and that's what it's always been. That's what the military needs to be. I'm sorry, and I'm going to say this from my whole ass chest. Bring back hazing, bring back bullying, because we wouldn't have these little sissies in America. We wouldn't have all this bullshit that's going on. Oh my God, you hurt my feelings. I need a safe space because the words hurt me. Like this is coming from people my age, mind you, right? That are sitting here saying these things, that are in their late 20s. We're the same generation that grew up with South Park and Family Guy. But everything is sensitive nowadays because for whatever reason, and I've only seen this progress more and this been shown. Again, I'm just going to point everything back to the last administration where we went from helping people with mental illnesses to celebrating mental illnesses and saying, it's okay that you feel this way. It's okay that you think you're this way. It's okay. We're not actually going to help you. We're going to feed into your delusion. And if anybody tells you you're wrong in how you feel, we're going to cancel them. We're going to call them whatever name it is because they're calling out reality. That needs to be what?
No, I was going to say, but what you're talking about, that's a type of person. But when you say bring back bullying, so let's just go in an urban environment where you have a very smart child, but the child lives in the projects or in a bad area. And when you're like bring back bullying, that child also gets bullied too, and he doesn't have blue hair. You know what I mean? He doesn't have.
I'm not talking about just about kids with blue hair. I'm literally talking about every ethnicity, every background, all of it all together. We're not going to single it down to the urban community and somebody who's just nerdy in school. No, we're going to talk about it with everybody. Like this is what it's become. This is what it's become. We're allowing parents to raise little sissies and have all this stuff go on. People that never been disciplined by their parents. That's what this all comes down to.
I think the problem when you bring back bullying and hazing in the military is you get that guy who rolls a frag into the talk and kills his captain, his first sergeant, which happened. I think you get Xavier Bruchon Anderson, a guy from our unit. You remember him, Gray, right? A young black dude who the hazing got so bad, so many people were picking on him. They made him wear a trash bag and they cut out arms and put his head through it and told him he was trash while he was in Iraq and he couldn't find somebody to look out for him. And instead of pulling his rifle and shooting him in their fucking face like I would have did, he went into a porta potty and blew his fucking brains out. A 21-year-old kid who's stuck in the country millions miles away where he couldn't walk out of a gate and he was getting bullied and hazed by some cowards who knew they was cowards, but it was a lot of cowards together. So that'd be the problem with hazing and bullying in the military. It's because Xavier Bruchon Anderson was 21 years old and her mama never got her son back. And ain't nobody from Iraq or none of those in Baghdad or Mama Dia, Ludafia, none of those places we was at, and none of those people killed him. Xavier Bruchon Anderson couldn't take it no more, and he went in a porta potty, he put his rifle in his mouth, and he pulled the fucking trigger. And those dudes walked around like they didn't do nothing to him, and they was pussies. We were slapping them around when they would have never played with me like that. But they played with him like that because they could, because somebody let him, because he wasn't that type of person. You know what I'm saying? And they took advantage of a good dude.
And the rank, because it was a first sergeant, it was a captain doing this. So, and this guy was like a private, and so it was just like crazy.
And they do it to dudes they knew they could do it to. They would have never did it to me. I'd have shot them in their fucking face.
Well, can we mention too? I'm like trolling these comments, and like a lot of these comments clearly are people just are fucking stupid. He never should have been there then. Okay, Bruce Blackstone, you're a fucking idiot. For starters, every single American man or woman deserves the right to fight for their country, deserves the right to be around other Americans and fight for their fucking country. They do not and should not get hazed or bullied or anything like that. That's fucking crazy that we would have this mob mentality to the point where we would attack somebody, physically assault them and abuse them 24/7 for who knows how long, because deployments aren't fucking 30 days. You piece of shit, Bruce. Some of these deployments are months long. So imagine taking physical, verbal, and potentially sexual assault from fellow Americans who should be your comrades, who you are there to protect other Americans. And they are what? Get the fuck out of here, dude. You're what's wrong with the people. That is a demonic thing to say. That man did not deserve what happened to him. And all of those people that propagated that bullying, they deserve to go to hell. Don't go past go. Don't collect 200. Like, that's so crazy to me that you people think thick skin. That is not thick skin, dude. That is wild work. Crazy that we think it's okay.
The truth is, just human nature. People do what they could get away with. Nobody's going to go pick on a gorilla. You know what I'm saying? Xavier was a easy target, which is why they did it. They didn't bully on him. These dudes wasn't physically fit. Faber was a fat, out of shape piece of shit. And I say his name, and I don't care if he was a fat, out of shape piece of shit. Like, these dudes didn't go pick on, and that's the problem with bullying and hazing, is it goes down. You don't pick on people who need bullying and people who need hazing. They pick on people who was weak, who was targets. And that's my thing about it. Like, you got picks. If you treating everybody like that, it's cool, but they wasn't treating everybody like that. They singled him out, and that shit was lame to me.
But, you know, it's sorry, I just want to say it's mob mentality too. So we need to understand all it takes is one person, one time, and then the mob will eat you up. Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Dartmouth, there's been numerous psychological clinical trials done, of which the CIA and FBI have done as well, to prove mob mentality takes over. It only takes one strong person to single out one person, and then everybody follows suit. It's so crazy to me that the people in the comments just think that, like, it's cool, it's great. You guys should be out there serving our country, but instead you're out there trying to get your fellow servicemen and women to kill themselves. Like, that's wild to me. That's I had to stop reading the comments. I can't handle it. That's crazy work to me.
And I think
that's not rational.
I think one of the realest things that people didn't realize is when this happened to him, and it happened, Sergeant Simonovich, who you can look him up in the Army Times, he had got the Bronze Star, he was decorated, he had got wounded in battle and still led dudes to safety and everything. He was the dude who blew the whistle on it, and they attempted to try to demean his character. A dude who had been in the Army Times on the front of the cover, who had been a decorated soldier who had given his life to his country. They tried to demean the dude for calling them out on how they treated this dude. And if y'all get a chance, y'all look him up. You'll see Xavier Bouchard Anderson. He passed away in Baghdad, Iraq. I want to say it was what it was like. It was early 2010 sometime.
Also, the other person who was in that unit was the WikiLeaks guy, the guy that's sitting on the stuff, the WikiLeaks. Yeah. So, he was in Iraq with us too. But I'm going to lighten the mood. This is a video that Trump shared. You know, we complain about AI. Y'all tell me what y'all think about it.
Oh, this was hilarious.
Guys, there's no way to sugarcoat it. Nobody likes Democrats anymore. We have no voters left because of all of our woke trans bullshit. Not even black people want to vote for us anymore. Even Latinos hate us. So we need new voters. And if we give all these illegal aliens free health care, we might be able to get them on our side so they can vote for us. They can't even speak English, so they won't realize we're just a bunch of woke pieces of shit, you know, at least for a while until they learn English and they realize they hate us too.
I'm going to play right here. His response was, before y'all respond, I'm going to play this.
Next time you have something to say about me. Don't cop out through a racist and fake AI video. When I'm back in the Oval Office, say it to my face. Say it to my face.
Man, America, I don't know what's going on here. If you're watching right now, hit the subscribe button and press that notification bell. Know we go live. Great show, everybody. Slim, what's your final thoughts?
Oh, man, great show. That video is all facts, by the way. With that being said, man, protect these children. It's been on my mind ever since that segment, man. And whatever you guys got to do to protect these kids, please do what you got to do, man. Don't fall into the rhetoric. Always remember the agenda is to destroy the minds of the children. If they could get to a younger generation, they could control a whole lot of shit in the future. Please understand that, man. It's always about the kids. With that being said, much love. Peace.
Ken, what's your final thoughts?
Yeah, we were talking about healthcare earlier, and I don't think it's the state or the government's job to take care of my health. Like, for example, I fasted almost a month this year, no food, anything. I dropped weight, was reversing some health effects or whatever. At one hand, we can't like be pressuring the government to have a certain kind of healthcare while we're undisciplined eaters. You know what I'm saying? So there's a certain type of agency and empowerment that we on the ground level have to have over our health. We don't want to put our health in the state's hands or the government's hands. So be mindful of the stuff that you put in your mouth. Be mindful of your intake. Be mindful of eating late at night. But at the end of the day, you got a right to go out how you want to. You're an American. My point is there's an offensive strategy that you can do to where you start to reverse the aging process, focus on longevity, and just get on top of your health.
My turn.
My bad. I was muted. My bad.
You're good. You're good. So my final thoughts were, like always, this was a good episode. Gonna go based off of the last video that we just saw. I'm gonna echo what 85 said, that was all fact today, and these numbers are right from the New York Times. 65% of Americans say Democrats should not let the government shut down. 54% of voters have an unfavorable opinion on the Democratic Party. And 11% of voters have a very favorable view of the Democratic Party. They are losing voters. We've seen this because they're not catering to the American people. They're catering to whoever they want to. the Democratic Party is in complete free fall, and they're showing their true colors in the last 3 weeks. Really, that's where I've been seeing it. Condoning what happened to Charlie Kirk, attacking ICE facilities, bombing. What can we say about that? This blue wave everyone talks about. You guys would be lucky if you make it to 28 to 26 at this point. Not even 28. So who knows?
Oh, for sure. Mia, what's your final thoughts? You're muted. You just did what I just did.
So this is a great episode. I really enjoyed it. If you are not following us, please do follow each and every single one of us, including the new party page here. Please do like and subscribe. We are all on TikTok, X. A lot of us are on Rumble, so please do find us and subscribe, especially if you like what we're saying. Thank you for being here. And I just want to say, don't allow the propaganda machine to get you. It isn't a left versus right. It is always a top versus down. And we're here and the elites are up here and they will do everything and anything to control us. And one final thing is every single American that wants to, male or female, should be able to serve in the United States military without being bullied to the point that they unalive themselves. Every single American has the right, and they should serve with integrity and dignity amongst the ranks, and nobody deserves any sort of untoward treatment. Whether they're a woman, whether they're being picked on by their superiors, it should not be tolerated. We should really work on just being, in general, as Americans, better fucking people, because we shouldn't think it's okay to bully someone to the point that at 21 years old, they want to end their life. Or we shouldn't turn our backs when our battle brothers are sexually assaulting our battle sisters. We need to do better and we need to be better. So hopefully you take this message as that.
For sure. Dot, what's your final thoughts?
I like what Slim said. We need to protect the children. And I also like what Ken said. We don't really have to have a TV. I think the biggest thing in America is entertainment these days. So those two things kind of go hand in hand. Protect your children any way you can. You can't expect anybody out here in the streets or the government to do it for you. So we just kind of got to figure it out ourselves. So good episode, everybody.
For sure. Shout out to the cast. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We do this every Monday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. With the government shut down, I hope that they can get the government through. I hope we can get to a more bipartisan space. I do feel like with MAGA, it's kind of made it where it's more in the middle because Trump is a traditional Republican. So I would think that we would have more in common, but the division is actually worse. As far as with the military, my personal story, the military changed my life. Obviously, I know Doc and a bunch of other people. It changed me, helped me get an education and things like this. And even to this day, I don't pay taxes on my house because of the military. So I feel like we should make it where people can have this stepping stone in life. If they don't want to go to college, if they don't want to go into corporate America, they can go work for the government. So let's make it easier, not harder. Man cave. You guys have a great night.